Well, thanks for having me. I know, probably 3 years ago, I presented a little bit on kind of the challenges, and I'm leaving this money because I have a fine I have to pay. So, just kind of an update. So we've got a few slides here I'm going to go through, and then I just want to give some times for questions. So, I didn't bring a clicker. I think in the beginning, these were some of the things that were our concerns. We were inequitable student opportunities. Not all of our schools had the same opportunities for all of the students, either because of the size of the school or some of the resources. But that bothered. That was something that we took a look at, and it just wasn't the same. In fact, at the 3 junior highs, some of them may have a home ec teacher, and school X didn't have a home ec teacher. We were overspending. We knew that. We were about 1.5 overspending. We had low letter grades, low graduation rate, outdated software, and historically for years, North Lawrence has been, not been up with lots of other school districts as far as teachers' wages and benefits. I think the thing today that some of the things we've done as far as having the equal opportunities, these are things that all of our schools have now as far as, the Empire Virtual Learning Academy is gone, but it was here during COVID. But obviously we've started the Gateway Academy, which is an alternative school. We've been graduating every year about 25 students walking across the stage because they had an alternative source. They went through the alternative school, which that increases our graduation rate alone at the high school about 5%. When we get 25 to 30 more or more students to graduate a year. We've started the early care at all of our schools, all 5 of the elementary schools from 6:30 in the morning, and then after care we do through the Boys and Girls Club till 6 o'clock at night. But parents have the opportunity to drop all of their students off early. We have Playful Pathways, which is now in the Stalker Elementary building. I have pictures to show you. We have 178 on a waiting list right now. We're doing some renovations as far as the HVAC work, and we're upgrading the 2 playgrounds, which was done through a $200,000 ROI grant for the little ones because the older playgrounds just weren't equipped for them. But we're hoping to have an open house there in October. And I've been told that the governor wants to come and see it because this will be one of the best early childhood centers in the state. Not many have an opportunity to put it in an elementary school. But we do Project Lead the Way. We've purchased over 800 additional computers out of our normal budget for all the students. A lot of the computers were older. Obviously, we do robotics and lots of different teams, and we did add the addition of a school safety coordinator. In competitive grants, these are grants we've brought in. This is just in the last 2-year period. Yes, a few of these grants are ones that we get, but we still have to manage them. We still have to use them. Sometimes writing the grant is the easiest thing. But yet a lot of these were competitive grants, as you can see. Okay. So we've brought in, I think if we go to the next slide, it's going to be $1.8 million in competitive grants. Not saying anything, but historically before that, North Lawrence on a yearly basis was bringing in about $300,000 to $400,000 in competitive grants. So we've really worked hard. We've done our partnerships, ROI, so many places. In fact, I asked Mrs. Dayton, our director of curriculum, learning to come. She's actually next door at Stonegate right now, working on a planning grant with us and Mitchell Schools to do one together. So we've been very blessed. It's been a lot of work, but I think reaching out and creating those partnerships, we've been able to bring in a lot of resources. We've done a lot in cost-saving measures. Obviously, you have to control your expenses. Nobody wants schools or churches to be run like businesses. My grandfather told me that. He helped keep his Methodist church going for years, and when people wanted to make a decision, so that was his saying. And little did I know I'd end up in schools, and now I'm using his saying. But we do have to reduce our expenses, and we have done a lot in the reduction of our property casualty insurance, utilities, maintenance, food service, custodial administration. One interesting thing is internet alone, we had no idea. We were spending $110,000 a year for internet for all the students after our E-rate. Little did we know when we closed the 3 county schools, our internet bill dropped $50,000. And I was like, well, they've left schools off. Something's wrong. And they're like, no, that's what it is. Well, we figured out for our internet, we were paying about $47 a student for those students to have internet access at Heltonville, Fayetteville, and Springville. Of course, I was only dividing the number by 72 at some of the schools or 100. But in town, we were providing internet in all of our other schools, it was 38 cents a student. And that was something that we just didn't know. It was an additional savings that we learned about. And then the other thing is, we had lots of classes that were unfortunately just too small. And you just can't have those types of things going on. So. But we've been really good. We have done a lot with technology. It's just the day and age we were at. I think, maybe for me included, some of us are a little more hesitant with technology, but that's all our kids know. They've always known these phones and devices. And so we've done a lot, not only with the way, we used to mail out packets for board meetings and stacks of paper and pay now it's just done electronically through the business office, through payroll. We have just tons of old records, and now it's just all digitized. But most importantly, even down here with the schools, we have the technology. I could log in if it was in the morning, and we have the capability to watch all of our school buses go around the county map, and we see the dots. And we know how fast they're going. We know where they're at. We've got 3 cameras in all of them, but that's a safety standpoint. We know those things, and that just didn't exist before. This is how many syncs that happen every night at 1 o'clock in the morning. So if we get a new student that moves in and they're in your class the next day, when that sync is done at 1 a.m., when the teacher takes her class and they all log in to use Naviance, that student is automatically there. They don't miss one day of learning. And if we don't have that in 2022, we're not a very transient group in here. But it is amazing how many of our students move and leave during a school year or move from one school to the other. This morning I happened to answer the phone there at the office, and it was a school district from Ohio needing student records for a student that moved from here last week to Ohio. And so having all of this is just it's so beneficial for our students. This is a little history on wages. And of course, it's all public information. It's not, But you can see here in the previous years, there was 3 years in a row, they basically, teachers, they got $500. And you can see the number of teachers that the district had. Now that number is a little bit skewed because North Lawrence Community Schools always housed joint services, which was the special ed services for 5 counties in our region, 7 school districts. So you can see the number drop down once we take care of just North Lawrence students now for special education, that dropped down. This was a step on a salary increase, and the step, I didn't put the dollar there, but basically in 2021, teachers got $1,400. So you can see there was 3 years of 500, but there was 10 years out here that the teachers did not get a step on the salary schedule. So with the hard work and with the reduction, we've started to shift, and the biggest number that why this number jumped so much from this number to this number is we didn't have as many teachers. And then if we look to last year, we did give $1,000, not the $1,400, and it was a stipend, but we treated it like salary. So they got the benefit with teacher retirement. The only thing is we didn't know how long we could last. But you can see our teachers is at 305, and next year, this fall, our goal is to add $1 million to salary and benefits for our teachers. And that will be about $3,600 a teacher. If we would have not done anything, if North Lawrence would have not reduced the number of facilities, the number of principals, the number of school buses, I mean, we cut 11 bus routes. A new bus costs $115,000 now. We were running bus routes just like they ran them 35 years ago. I was teaching school at Heltonville in 1992, and Guyla Kinzer was the bus driver. I was the interim, and I walked out there the first day, and I said, Guyla, where's all your students? She had 6. She says, nobody lives out here anymore. But we just kept running those bus routes. And it's the easiest thing to do. I mean, change isn't very easy. You know, if you can just keep doing the same thing, it's pretty nice. But those are the type of things that we've done to try to right-size the school district, control our expenses, but we've also worked very hard at balancing and adding robotics, adding different opportunities, adding those types of things for our students. I wish I could report some on the letter grades, because that is a goal of ours, and we have put a tremendous amount of time and energy in helping our teachers be better teachers, providing resources, sending them to training. Tonight, on tonight's board agenda, is approval for 3 more trainings that we want to send teachers to, either out of Lawrence County, either in Indianapolis or Chicago or in the region. And the blessing is we've received some ESSER money. I don't know if President Biden or who actually did it, but we received it. But that money has to be used on loss of learning, because our students spend a lot of time at home. And we're using that funds to invest in our teachers, provide them training, and provide them help. I think we did do, as far as bond, we've kept the tax rate the same. It's not our goal. And I should have plopped a slide in here, I didn't, but our tax rate is not high compared to anyone else's. If you want to know why Medora is still open, their tax rate is off the chart. Nobody's as high as them. But we did borrow money. The good thing is, when we did do it, we actually spent it on items that it should be spent on. We didn't spend it on buying computers for the kids. You know, we're doing that out of our normal budget now. We've kind of right-sized the district. So we did do this in 2019. In 2022, we're actually getting ready to start the process. And we're looking at a solar project, probably out by the high school. And the reason we're doing that is it's an investment. We'll get about $8 million in return. And the nice thing is we get this return. This is $8 million that will go towards our operational cost. So then indirectly, it can be a savings that we can also look at putting towards increasing salary and wages and resources for our students. And I think obviously we will have some. Both of these were about $5 million. This was, you know, you can see there 5.3. And this one's going to be very similar. And basically, it's not going out and borrowing no new money. It's just, it's our tax rate. We're set at like 37, 39 cents. You know, I think Mitchell, south of the river, they're at like 50, I don't know exactly, but it's in the 50s or maybe low 60s, you know, to get a comparison. So ours was not set very high. In 1973, the state legislature locked everybody in. Mitchell's ended up higher because they had just went through a little bit of a building phase down there. Bedford hadn't been through a building phase. You could probably tell me, but my guess is that Dr. Schaefer was pretty tight. I don't know.
Straight down.
What?
But we had a taxpayer association that rode us like a horse.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a lot of people coming to board meetings and having.
And they didn't want to. But because whatever a school district's tax rate was, I think it was in 73, they locked it in there. They locked it in. And that's kind of why there's different tax rates. So, but I think this is you know, we have the money coming to us. I think this will be a good expenditure. And most importantly, it's an investment in the future of returns. This is some pictures. You can just flip through. This is Stalker Elementary. You could see there, and you can go on through. But this is the Early Learning Center. This is the way it looks today. You can go ahead and click. There are just a few pictures. This is an infant room. I do have permission from 3 of the parents to go down and rock their baby as therapy and just to get away. But several of these, yes, for me. It's just a nice quiet, you know, they play the lullaby music and it's just, there's no, but it's a wonderful opportunity for our community. For parents whose both parents are working, they are open from 6:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. And we are next to Hoosier Upland, the only licensed daycare in the county. So it's called Paths to Quality, but parents can qualify for vouchers. And if their income is lower, they can actually be subsidized to go. But you can see the facility. We are in the process, through a grant we received with ROI, putting a playground right here. And then we're redoing this playground area right here. So it will be equipped for the early childhood kids. And then this is just a quick a video with the Career Center out at the high school.
What is this place? This is the place where we're not afraid to get our hands dirty. It's that feeling of putting your whole self into something and seeing it come to life. A place where innovation and real-world experience meet. Where book smarts and street smarts weave themselves together to form your education. This is where you learn to be that future you. A place you were born for. This is where you learn that growth doesn't only come from a classroom, but from doing the work. It's that moment when you realize
I want to do this the rest of my life.
the saving of a life, the fire at the end of a welder, the wrench turning in the garage, that passion grows from hands-on experience, which will be with you for the rest of your life. What is this place? This is North Lawrence Career Center. Great schools, great community. We are NLCS.
And I think it's important, and I think historically, schools probably didn't, you didn't have to do these things. There wasn't choices. But we have more students than we've had coming from neighboring school districts, Brownstown, Mitchell, Orleans, Shoals. Our classes are just about full. In fact, we're starting to the point where it has increased so much the last couple of years. And I think one is marketing it, but we've also made an investment in it. And Joe Timbrook has done an outstanding job. Doug Kellums has been an awesome partner. Stuart Reardon has been a great partner with Stone City Products. The McCulloughs and different ones, and our students go out and do internships. And it is just a complete avenue there. And I can't say enough too, I need to include Ivy Tech and Vincennes, because many of those students can go through this program and almost have that associate's degree. We have a nurse practitioner and a registered nurse both teaching our health occupation classes for the students, and those opportunities. You know, our law enforcement class, we have Greg Taylor, who just retired as our deputy sheriff, and his experience in training, it's wonderful. So it's just, that's a wonderful program. I'm going to slide over and I can show you a quick video on the high school that we did. For some reason I have to play it from here.
BNL.
3, second down, 7.
It's not about a spirit, but a school's soul.
It's that moment you realize this is where you're supposed to be.
A place of warmth and special moments you'll have with you for a lifetime. A place where you can be curious. In an ever-changing environment, students need to be inspired.
To reach beyond, to reach forward to their dreams and aspirations for the future. It's a place where self-motivation and skilled collaboration are second nature.
Where critical thinking and effective communication can be the keys to endless possibilities.
Where the 2:55 p.m. bell is just a suggestion to the teachers who stay late to help a student.
Where performing isn't just to entertain, but to grow as an individual.
B&L is a place where students can stand on the foundation of their education to reach forward to their potential. Great schools, great community.
We are NLCS.
So it's, I think we use those videos, we share those. We're actually the one we're wanting to make now is for our community. Because I think it's important when people move to our community, and I've reached out to the mayor and we need to make one. And I know several of the large employers, the Cooks, the Catalans, the Baxters, IU Health, when they get a new employee, it is very easy to send them a video. And this is what we have. This is what we have to offer. These, those types of things. So, and it is very nice to just, share that information.
You still have Channel 14, do you?
Well, we're actually going to our own YouTube TV channel. So, the number of people watching some of that, but we have that, yeah. So, absolutely. And we just kind of revitalize that. So I do want to just share. I think we, as far as challenges, we have. I think we've got some challenges, and I think we have 6 school districts in Lawrence County right now. North Lawrence is the largest, and homeschool is the second largest. Then we've got LCIS in Fayetteville. Then we've got Springville. We've got St. Vincent's. And we have Stone City, a Christian academy. And that's not counting how many kids, and maybe you've seen it on TV, the virtual school that you can sign up for, where you can sign up. And I think it's very important that we try to develop that dream for what's best for North Lawrence Community Schools and what we want it to be. And some of those communities that have done a very good job that are our size, that are like us, is if you look at the Jaspers, if you look at Greensburg, and you look at Shelbyville. They're our size, they've done some great things. And it's hard, but we have a lot of great teachers. And I know in this day and age, the hardest part is it's created a lot of division out there, a tremendous amount of division. And I hate it for our employees because we are blessed with some great employees. And you wish we could just do it all on our own merit, but I know everybody's fighting for the same group of students. So we've got to think outside the box. We have to do the best we can do. But that is, it's here. That's the reality of it. So, we would have never thought there'd have been 6 school districts in Lawrence County. We did get several students back, and, we're going through that balancing act. But the good thing is, we're not overspending like we were, and we are starting to add, as you can see, funds to our teachers and salary and wages, because I think number one, for our students, we need to be able to attract and retain and keep the best teachers we can. So, and I did not go through and collect the details, but I did put the 1 year there was a 12%, which was the largest increase that we've had. Following COVID, we had a very large health insurance increase, and North Lawrence covered that increase. But and typically from year to year, it's not just salary. We also do the benefits part of it. And then at times the state will tell us that we have to send a higher percentage to the state on someone's salary for their teacher retirement fund, which funds their pension and funds, that. But they tell us what percent that is. But it's never went down. It just goes one way.
What is the base salary for a brand new teacher right out of college?
We're right at $36,800. And then if you figure the insurance, the percent we pay into TRF and salary and Social Security, in the state of Indiana, a teacher gets their TRF, which is their monthly pension, plus they get their annuity, which is another invested amount, and then they get Social Security. Some states, teachers, in the state of Missouri, you don't get Social Security. You just get pension. But, the school district doesn't have to pay that then. But it's 36. The state is wanting all school districts in the state to be at 40,000. That's the goal. Not a year from now, like next 23, 24 school year.
Well, maybe they could just give you the money to make that.
Exactly. And I will say this though, we are getting to the point where we've reduced some of our unnecessary expenses by having 10 elementary schools, and 3 junior highs and the high school. There wasn't a school district in southern Indiana that had more than 1 junior high. I mean, Shelbyville, Connorsville, Greensburg, Rattle them all off. Rushville, Newcastle, Jasper, Vincennes, Washington, there's more. Floyd County, Jeffersonville, they all have 1 junior high. We had 3. I'm excited. I think hopefully you see we're making progress. We're doing good things, and we're trying to plan in the future. So, and just don't believe everything you read on Facebook.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Dr. Mungle.
Thanks.
Debbie's got a question.